Democratic calls for President Biden to drop out of the race stretch from Capitol Hill to Hollywood tonight. Good evening, I'm Norah O'Donnell, and thank you for being with us. The word blockbuster is normally used to describe a box office hit, but today, one of the biggest movie stars, George Clooney, dropped a political blockbuster in the form of a New York Times editorial, writing, that even though he is a lifelong Democrat and loves Joe Biden, quote, our party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people didn't see what we just saw, referring to the debate. And those party leaders are now under pressure from their own members to deliver a message to the president. All of this is clouding the NATO summit of world leaders right here in Washington, where the big news is that the first F-16 fighter jets are on their way to Ukraine to fend off Russian forces. We have team coverage tonight. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is at the White House, and we begin with CBS's Scott MacFarlane on Capitol Hill.
The political ground is wobbling beneath President Biden, one of the biggest tremors from one of America's biggest stars. Weeks after appearing side by side at a fundraiser, actor George Clooney split with the president. Writing in a blistering editorial for the New York Times, I love Joe Biden, but we need a new nominee. Adding, when he saw the president 3 weeks ago, he wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Another quake on cable TV this morning.
It's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants a decision, but President Biden has already made his stance clear.
I'm staying in the race.
But speaking later with reporters, she declined to press harder.
The decision is the president's.
At the NATO summit in Washington, the president, posing with top European leaders, was asked about the comments from Pelosi, his longtime ally.
Is Nancy Pelosi still behind you, sir?
But at nearly the same time, another U.S. House Democrat, New York's Pat Ryan, today publicly urged the president to end his campaign. CBS News has learned House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, who's been hearing complaints from many in his caucus, says he'll share those concerns with the president himself by Friday. Democrats who've already defected wouldn't say if or how many others are poised to join.
Has anybody joined you or expressed interest in joining you in your call for the president to withdraw?
I don't have anything to say about this.
CBS News has confirmed Senate Democrats have scheduled a closed-door meeting with the president's campaign team tomorrow.
I think that we could lose the whole thing, and it's staggering to me.
After Michael Bennet of Colorado became the first Democratic senator to publicly predict the president could lose in a landslide. Two senior Democrats tell CBS News the Biden campaign could face financial problems. With concerns about the president's health and wavering Democratic support, campaign donations could dry up in a race that could cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Norah.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much for your reporting. It is hard to overstate how critical this week is for the president's reelection campaign. So let's bring in CBS's Ed O'Keefe. And Ed, it seems like each day brings more troubling signs for the Biden campaign. What are your sources telling you?
Well, Norah, as a senior campaign official put it to me, quote, there's no question this is the toughest moment we've had of this campaign. And here's why George Clooney's opinion matters. You might be thinking, why do I care? Well, look, he's someone who spent personal time with the president just over 3 weeks ago and noticed his decline, having met with him several times in years past. So he's a well-known character witness for many voters concerned about President Biden's age. As for Nancy Pelosi's strong suggestion that Biden rethink his future, that's signaling that she's hearing real concern from fellow congressional Democrats, big party donors, and other party leaders. And it also gives others an opening to speak up. And she's one of the few party leaders the president listens to regularly and whose opinion he values.
And Ed, a big test tomorrow for the president. His first solo press conference in nearly 8 months. What's at stake?
Oh, Norah, another big moment that all of Washington and skeptical voters nationwide will be watching closely. They want to see how he does in his next big unscripted moment, where he'll once again take numerous questions and be forced to think on his feet. If he handles it well, that could hold off more detractors. If he doesn't, the floodgates might open. Norah?
Ed O'Keefe from the White House, thank you.